Can a $150 costume compare to a multi-thousand-dollar costume? Well, we're both about to find out. So, in my hand, I hold the Sim Cosplay Superman costume inspired by the Christopher Reeve movies. So, you will find out today what my review on this suit is. I'll obviously unbox it, I'll talk about the quality of it, and if you stay tuned to the end, you'll hear me talk about the communication with the company, and I'll actually put it on. So, first things first, we're going to unbox this bad boy and see how we go. Well, unbag it anyway. So, I'm just going to move the mic just a little bit so I can have a little bit of room. Now, once I go out and talk about it, I'll have the handheld mic so you can hear me well. So, alright, so about a month and a bit ago, I ordered this one. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like 6 weeks ago. They told me it would be here within a month or two. Within, I think, just over 4 weeks, it was shipped out. Within a week, it was here. So, what 5 or 6 weeks ago is how long it took. So, here we go. I'm really, really excited about this one. Now, I haven't had a Christopher Reeve suit in a long time. Unfortunately, I had to sell mine due to some finances. The last one I had was from Sebastian Colombo at Dream Props. Before that, I had a suit from Action Costumes, both of which have their charms in their own way. And if you go back and look at some of those reviews, you can really see the quality of those suits. So now we're going to check this one out. Now, I ordered the full version with the boots, with the belt, with the cape, with everything. And that was about $150 US, so not really a huge cost. So, let's see if it's worth it. Alright. So, at first glance... looks pretty good. So, I got the large. Now, they're large. Unfortunately, a lot of the times with the sizing, they, it'll fit one part of my body, but the other part of the body, it might be a little bit too big. Like, for example, I have a 41 to 42 inch chest, about a 32 inch waist. On the website, if you order something for a 41 to 42 inch chest, you're ordering something for like a 35 waist. So I chose not to have this one custom made just because I wanted to get it a little bit sooner. So let's open her up and see where we're at. All right. At first glance, it looks pretty good. Now, we'll start with the boots here. Nope, I'm not going to put the boots there. Shoes upon the table. For those of you who are musical theater fans, know that that's not a great idea. All right. The only bad thing about unboxing and unbagging is that I make a big mess. Now, I can feel already that they're not leather or anything, which they wouldn't be for $150 complete. And they don't claim to be, I don't think. I'll have a check on the website again, but... All right. So, boot one. Alright, so they're made from like a thick sort of polystyrene, I think, sort of material. So it's definitely not the type of boot that I don't think is going to like form fit to your feet. There's a little Nike, but like almost like an Air Jordan design on the bottom of it. I'll get a little bit of a close-up there maybe. I'll do close-ups in a little bit, but yeah, at first glance, it looks pretty nice. It's your basic Superman boot. It is that material that's not really going to be form-fitting or anything, which is fair. Again, you're not going to get that. Like, you're going to pay for something from, like, Action Costumes or Dream Props or something. You're going to get something that's a little bit more form-fitting and obviously leather, like real good leather boots. So these are fine. They're exactly what I thought they'd be. Now, again, with something like a more expensive suit, you're not going to see the zipper back. Both Action Costumes and Dream Props, they do have like a little flap in the back that hides the zipper, so it looks a little bit better. But, you know, overall, you got a little bit of a seam here, which is accurate to the movie. You know, on the Superman movie, 1978, all the way to 1980, whatever it was with Superman 4, that seam is actually there. There is a little bit more detail in those boots, but these are fine. Like, these are fine Superman boots. You've got the little V there, so we're happy that. Pull out the belt. I'm not feeling the belt. Oh, there's the belt. It just fell out of the bag. All right, here we go. All right, so the belt. Now, the belt is tricky because, again, the belt is very, very specific in these movies. You might not think but there's a really specific mold that they have to use for the belt. Now, I'm going to guess that Sim Cosplay does not have access to that mold, like Action Costumes and Dream Props do. My God, there's a lot. I'm making such a mess. It's like Christmas morning. I feel bad for my parents having to clean up Christmas morning now. All right, the belt. Okay, so the belt at first glance, nice enough. Again, not leather, like a styrene kind of thing. The belt is sort of attached. It's not glued on, so in a really good high-end version, you're going to get it glued on with strong glue. This looks to be, it's actually tied on. It's actually tied on, so I don't know if you can see this, but I'll get close-ups later. But basically, you can see the little ties there, and in back, you can see that it's fastened that way. So I would have liked to have seen it glued on, but it looks fine. The buckle is a little bit different color from the actual belt itself because they're different materials. Whereas in a good version, you're going to see that the material is very, it's not similar. The buckle is going to obviously be a different material than the leather, but in a good version, those will be the exact same color, which I do have. So yeah. A little bit flimsy, but I think overall it might look pretty good. All right, so the main crux of it. So we've got the jumpsuit here. So it is made from a bit of a stretch material, which is nice. I'm assuming the briefs are going to be in with the bag. Now this is one piece. It is a one-piece jumpsuit. Now again, in a higher end suit, you're going to see that the tunic, the top part, is actually attached to the briefs. That's one section, and then the leggings are a different section. So you'd put the leggings on, then you'd put the briefs / tunic on over that, which is how the movie suit was made. But this looks nice. It's a bit of a heavier material. It's a bit of a stretch. Feels like it wouldn't be Lycra. I don't think that this is Lycra. It's just a stretch cotton material. So I'm not sure how that's going to sit or how that's going to look. But overall, the emblem's nice. Like, the emblem is sewn in, so it's all separate. So you can see... I'll open this up. Hold on. This is going to be tricky getting it on by myself, I think. Oh, I don't like it already. I don't like it already. The zip, when the zip is fussy, it makes for a really lousy experience. And this is a fussy zip. It's really hard to, hold on. And we're back. Just want to make sure I'm still filming. Hold on one second. Yes, I am. All right, so that was a bit much. So that took me just under 5 minutes to move that zip. Obviously, I edited it so that you didn't have to wait that long. But I don't like that already. I can be honest with you. I do not like a small zip like this. I don't like these kinds of zips. I think they're trash. I don't think that they last very long. So not a fan. Not a fan. You need a good size zip, like Napier's, Replica Industries. They do a good zip. Even Dream Props and Action Costumes, their zips are a little bit too small, but at least they move the way that they're supposed to. So when you've got a heavy material like this, it's not terribly heavy, but it's heavy enough. You need a bigger zip to help make things move a little bit more. And a zip, for all you makers out there, if you can get a zip that has the little hole in it so that you can put some string through and pull it up, that's a real big help to us cosplayers who have to do this by ourselves. But, okay, so inside you can see that it has been sort of sewn. So the S is a bit separate from everything else, which is good, which is pretty screen accurate. This is not screen accurate material, though, just so you know. The movies, they were anything from a 2-way to a 4-way stretch Lycra. That's not what that is. But when we see it on, hopefully it gives us a good outlook. All right, moving on to the cape and the briefs. Now, the briefs can be tricky because if you do them wrong, they look awful. Have been there. All right. Now, I can tell from the cape it is a soft kind of like satin. Not as heavy as you're going to find in a really well-made suit, which is going to be made from a heavy cotton or a gabardine, which is what they made in the movies. So I can tell that this is already a cheaper material. But again, of course, you're going to find that. But again, we'll see what it looks like on. All right, we're going to place that there for a second. All right, so here are the briefs. Oh, and we got a tag. We got a tag. So a big we've got a security tag. Okay. Okay. How do I get that off? Okay. I'll have to cut that off. A big misconception is that a lot of these cosplay companies put these suits out and they are exclusive. Pro Cosplay does that a lot. They put out these suits, but the thing is, the suits aren't exclusive to that company. Pro Cosplay just might be the one that gets it first, but you'll see a bunch of companies that actually have the same stock photos of a lot of these suits, like the Superman 2025 suits or the Man of Steel stuff or whatever it might be. They're all made from like a pattern that these companies get and can make the suits with the materials that they have or are supplied with. So it's not Pro Cosplay that these things are exclusive to. This one I haven't actually seen on Pro Cosplay, Charon Buy, or Unibuy, or Cosmanlys or anything yet. So Sim Cosplay might just be the first one that has gotten these. So, okay, this is interesting. I'm gonna try to. I'll be right back. I'm gonna cut this. This is crazy. Okay. Thankfully, that was easier than it looked. All right. So at first glance, yeah. Well. Oh. Okay. So okay. Another problem with cheaper briefs. Not a problem. We will find out when we get it on. Is that you can see that the front of the briefs and the back of the briefs, they're exactly the same. So in real briefs, like you're going to see that the back is wider and the front is more narrow. Now that's a problem that you can run into when they're not already attached to the tunic, or if it's not something that's made properly, or if it's bulk made like this. They're making it for speed, not for quality and comfort. I mean, quality maybe, but you can see that it is slightly wider at the back, but not really that much to make a big difference. So that, yeah, you have to really be paying attention to make sure that you had it on right. So that's the briefs. All right, so the cape. We're going to move into the cape. So now I can see that the cape will attach. There should be enough of this string. Yes, there is. So essentially, I'll show you how that works in a second. But the cape is pleated. It does have the... Oh, that's a shame. It's got the yellow S on the back, but it's kind of like vinyl. So it's not a cloth like you would see in the movie. But again, that's going to be cheaper than it is to make cloth patches. So it looks nice. It looks fine enough. It does have some stitching in there, but it is a vinyl S. And so essentially the way that this is going to go on... The cape will go on first. And then you'll tie it under your arms and behind your back. Now, a lot of cosplayers I've seen do this and they put it on after they put on the suit, so you've got this showing. This needs to go on first so that it gives you that tucked in look and this isn't visible. So, all right. So the next step we're going to do is I'm going to put it on and we're going to go from there. So let's do this. All right, we do this live here on the Super Fit Cosplay channel. All right. How's my hair? I think it's good. Hair check. 1 second. All right, I kind of have a thicker Superman curl now, so that's kind of cool. All right, so I'm going to put it on in here, and then I'm going to do full shots out in the lounge room. But here we go. So how do I got to work this? All right, so what I'm going to do, and what I normally would do, I'll put the bodysuit on first. I know I just said put the cape on first, but what I'll do is I'll put the bodysuit on first, and only put it on like halfway. And keep my upper body exposed. So if you have a two-piece, you'd put the leggings on, and then you'd put the tunic and briefs on, but you would just keep it down. You wouldn't bring it up yet. So here we go. What I actually might do is I might put the bodysuit on, and then put the briefs on as well. So let's see how easy this is going to be to get it on by ourselves. Now it already feels like it's going to have some weird pulls, so I'm going to have to manipulate it that way. As in, we're going to have a little bit of scrunching with the material, which we obviously don't want. But it feels actually pretty nice. Okay. So I basically just pulled it down as much as I can, so any scrunching is going to be hidden by the boots. All right, so, all right, here we go. I do recommend a dance belt for all you cosplayers out there. Please wear a dance belt. We don't need to see the outline of anything. That's not the character that we're doing here. All right, so the briefs feel good. I feel like they're actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Do you know what? I'm going to put the boots on too. This way I don't have to do anything funky with it. All right, so here come the boots. Okay. I'll give you a close-up of that. Boots are pretty true to size, which we love, due to the nature of the material, and they've been sitting in a box for a couple weeks. They are a little bit warped, so with that kind of stuff you can change with like a hairdryer, I think. Not terribly worried about that, because I do have some better boots anyway. Alright. Let's put this cape on. Ooh, that's a bit snug. This is a large. Now I got a large. Maybe I should have gotten an extra large. Jesus. Alright. 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 Cool. So I'm going to do the little cosplayer shimmy. Now this is where we run into a problem with a zip like this. Is it not big enough to... Oh, got it. Ah! Alright, now... Gotta grab from the... Good way to do this is to bring this over. And then fix it later. See? Oh, we're so close. Got it. Oh, no, I don't. There we go. Gotcha. Alright, so it's a costume that you can get on by yourself. Alright. Now I'm going to put on the boots, and then I'm going to take you out into the lounge room, and we're going to go from there. Sorry, I meant I'm going to put on the belt, and then we're going to go to the lounge room, and I'll catch you there. Alright, so here we go. So we've got everything on. Now, a couple of things. It does fit really well. Like, it accentuates all the right things. Like, pretty good muscle definition here. Can't complain. And I mean, I'm not at my peak shape at the moment, so you're not seeing things pop through like they normally would in a slightly thinner material. So this is a heavy material, but it is good. Like, it does the job. Like, I'm not actually mad about it. So the things about it that I'm noticing, though, the briefs, they are just the way that they're cut. If they're not sitting properly, they will crease there. They will crinkle. But that's cool. You can continuously try to fix that. And you can see what I mean by the boots. Like, this is a little bit bent. But overall, it feels really good. The thing that lets this one down is the cape. The cape material, it's too shiny, too satiny. That's the biggest thing. And the S on the back. I don't like the vinyl of it. But overall, like, for $150, it's really not a bad suit. The cape is something that flows all right. It's not amazing. Oh, actually, it does have a pretty good wingspan there. So in the wind, this would probably flap pretty well. So it's not a bad thing. Yeah, I think, what do we think? How do we look? How do we look? I think for the price it's actually a really nice suit. So I'm going to do some close-ups for you now, and we're going to go from there. All right, so we've got some close-ups here, so you can see the S. It doesn't quite it kind of expands with the chest, which is nice. I'll get close-ups with the cape in a little bit, but moving down, like I said, you can see that it does accentuate the right things, which is good. Got a little bit of ab poppage there, rib action like Mr. Reeve would have had, and then the belt. So you can see where I mean right here, how it is attached to it. Now the belt obviously attaches by Velcro in the back. The loops are pretty solid. And then when you come down to the boots, you can kind of see what I mean, how they do that, and they bend in. And then you can see here with the cape how it has that nice tucked in look. All right, as we can see, you see what I mean by the S. It's just a bit of a vinyl piece there, but there is stitching here, so it kind of does work in that sense. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, and there's obviously some imperfections in there. And then the pleats are kind of non-existent, so you just gotta, they're there, but barely. So you've gotta style it yourself, or just make a new cape. So not a great cape, but not the worst I've ever seen. So look, overall, I think it's a good bargain. You know, like 6 out of 10. The things, like I said, that let it down are the boots. Just, I mean, they don't really let the suit down, but they are a bit bendy, and so you need to fix that. The belt, I don't love the way the buckle's on there. The briefs are actually better than I thought they'd be. The cape is the thing that really lets it down the most, just because of the shiny material, and the vinyl S, which I don't really like. But the bodysuit itself is pretty amazing. Like, I have another belt that I could probably use with this. The other good thing about the belt is that it actually fits in the belt loops, which if you ever get a costume and the belt doesn't fit within the belt loops, it's really annoying. Even if it's too snug, it can pull everything. So this is just overall really nice for the price that you're getting. Really a good quality for the price that you're getting. Now, in terms of speaking with Sim Cosplay, I didn't have a lot of communication with them. You do have to be careful when you order, because they offer expedited shipping, which you pay extra for, but they don't do that internationally, or at least to Australia, which I found out later. So they had to give me a discount, not a discount, but they had to refund me. So please make sure that you check that first. Communication overall was pretty good. I communicated them via Instagram and email, and they are pretty good at getting back to you. And they're really nice enough, and you're going to get what you pay for. So this is the second costume that I've gotten from them, and pretty happy with it. So overall, the Christopher Reeve Superman costume from Sim Cosplay, it's a good one for me. So definitely recommend. Definitely recommend. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notifications bell, ding ding, follow, share with your friends. Check me out at Superfit Cosplay on TikTok and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.